The Russia-Ukraine war has been ongoing for quite some time now, but instead of cooling down, the situation is getting worse day by day. While Russia did inflict some considerable damage at the start of the war, Ukraine is now more than ready to fight back. And for this, it has called in reinforcements, mostly in the form of fighter planes. The war-torn country has received 6 F-18 carrier-based fighters and B-1B Lancer bombers from NATO. Then, also a fleet of legendary B-52 bombers, armed with the latest Dragon bomb, as well as a highly classified U-2 reconnaissance aircraft, which is currently gathering information on enemy forces. But how far can these planes go towards helping Ukraine? Let's explore separately the benefits each of these jets can offer. 1. F-18. The United States Navy and Marine Corps deploy the F-18 Hornet as both a fighter and an assault platform. In its fighter form, the F-18 is utilized largely as a fighter escort and for the defense of the fleet's airspace. In its attack mode, however, the F-18 is utilized for force projection, interdiction, as well as close and deep air support.
It's a dual-engine, multi-role fighter that's carrier-capable. So big things there. It's as the arresting hook is the big thing that kind of distinguishes us from other aircraft.
During Operation Desert Storm, the F-18 demonstrated its capabilities and versatility by shooting down enemy fighters and then bombing enemy targets with the same aircraft on the same mission. It also broke all records for tactical aircraft in terms of availability, reliability, and maintainability. Hornets are capable of surviving direct strikes from surface-to-air missiles. Yet, the fact that they are able to recover, be repaired rapidly, and continue flying the following day is evidence of the aircraft's survivability. By making selective use of the aircraft's exterior equipment, each and every F-18 can be rapidly adapted to fulfill either the fighter or attacker role or both, depending on the requirements of a given mission. This force multiplier feature provides operational commander with additional flexibility in terms of utilizing tactical aircraft in a war scenario that is constantly shifting. The primary responsibilities of the fighter missions are fighter escort and fleet air defense. On the other hand, assault missions consist of force projection, interdiction, and close and deep air support. The Super Hornet first flew in 1995 and quickly outperformed its predecessors in many ways. The radar was the first in fighter aircraft history to be capable of seeing targets up to 93 miles away. The F-18 was also the first aircraft to employ radar countermeasure systems against enemy aircraft. Such technologies, for example, did not exist on the more popular F-16 Fighting Falcon, and there were no plans to add them. However, the Naval Fleet Command wanted to get the most out of the F-18, so they set a goal of increasing its flight range, stealth technologies, and survivability, expanding its range of airborne and ground-based targets, and integrating modern weaponry, including cruise missiles. That is why the Super Hornet, which was an updated version of the original plane, could do everything. Conquest missions are simple thanks to their ability to carry up to 12 AIM-120 air-to-air missiles, capable of hitting targets at supersonic speeds. Sinking enemy ships with stealth missiles is also a possibility, as the plane carries AGM-158C missiles specifically designed for this purpose. It can also drop up to 10 precision bombs in a single pass if necessary. And while the F-18 can even take on the role of an aerial tanker, it is also extremely durable, with its design modified to withstand the stress of catapult launches, hard landings on aircraft carriers, and saltwater exposure. The best part? The Super Hornet costs only $53 million, which is pretty economical as compared to an F-16, which may cost $57 million, and that's without any weapons. 2. B-1B Lancer. Next up, we have the B-1. The world's first combat aircraft to widely employ stealth technology. The B-1B Lancer, which became a symbol of the later decades of the Cold War, was first conceived as a strategic nuclear bomber, with the task of flying at low altitudes in order to evade early warning radars used by the Soviet Union. With the conclusion of the Cold War, however, the jet was modified to be able to carry conventional ordnance and has since seen extensive service in the roles of close air support and tactical bombing.
Over 30 years have passed since the B-1 was introduced to the US Air Force. This is by no means a new kid on the block, but it has played a backseat role to the more illustrious aircraft in the US fleet.
The multi-role B-1 bomber is the backbone of the United States Air Force's long-range bomber force and carries the biggest payload of both guided and unguided weapons of any aircraft in the arsenal. It is able to swiftly deploy vast amounts of both precision and non-precision weaponry to any location on the planet. At high altitudes, the maximum flight speed is 826 miles per hour, which is faster than the speed of sound. However, in terms of flight range, with only 7,500 miles, it might lag behind some of its competitors like the B-52, which we are going to get to in just a second. Nonetheless, the B-1 Lancer is a strategically important addition to the Ukrainian military aviation fleet due to its stealth technology. The invisible bomber can launch lethal attacks while remaining safe and may also be used to collect information. But for reconnaissance, the aircraft we have next might just be the better option overall. 3. B-52 Stratofortress. Along with the Super Hornet, the US also dispatched nearly its entire fleet of legendary B-52 bombers to Ukraine. The Stratofortress can carry 70,000 pounds of weapons and fly more than 8,700 miles on a single tank of fuel. To put that into perspective, a B-52 could make a round trip from the US to Russia.
Partnering with the 2nd Bomb Wing leadership, we wanted to bring a B-52 out here to showcase not just the hardware but the crew members to some of the acquisition professionals that are really charged with executing the biggest modernization in the Buff history.
The aircraft has received the most upgrades of any aircraft and is regarded as the most powerful bomber ever built. It's pretty clear that Boeing went above and beyond to create this beast, and despite its ripe age, the B-52 can still dazzle enemies, especially now that it's equipped with the latest Dragon Bomb, a deadly weapon which enables the plane to destroy ground targets at a distance of more than 60 miles with pinpoint accuracy. 4. U-2 Spy Plane. And among the planes on today's list, number 4 is the ancestor of a new generation of stealthy scouts. It was unlike any other aircraft at the time because it lacked armor and weapons, prompting military experts to question.
Pretty much over your right shoulder and left shoulder, you're a little bit removed from everyone else. You're now in kind of your own atmosphere, if you will, in your own little environment in there, and you hear the valves of the pressure suit as you breathe.
Whether such a deviant plane should even exist. While producing the plane, the developer, the very well-known Lockheed Martin, could have even gone bankrupt, but the CIA believed in the project and came to the rescue. The U-2 is designed to penetrate deep into enemy territory for one purpose: collecting intelligence. It has a series of incredibly powerful sensors and cameras to help do its job. The United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense, MOD, is also looking into the prospect of supplying Royal Air Force RAF Eurofighter Typhoon Tranche 1 fighter jets to European MiG-29 operators. This would allow the aircraft, which dates back to the Soviet era, to be donated to the Ukrainian government. The potential handover of the carrier to MiG-29 operators was acknowledged by UK Armed Forces Minister James Heape, despite the fact that the direct supply was ruled out due to difficulties with logistics.
Poland has asked Germany for formal approval to deliver MiG-29 fighter jets to Ukraine.
However, it appears that a political solution to the problem has been found, as Slovak and Polish officials have agreed to a joint process which will allow the two NATO countries to supply their respective MiG-29 fleets to Ukraine. While this is a significant step towards resolving the issue, even when considering MiG-29s, which would be more familiar to Ukrainian pilots, the operational impact of additional supplies has drawn concern from defense analysts. Can the jets help Ukraine win the war? Or does Russia have too much of an upper hand? Tell us what you think personally in the comments below. This brings us to the end of this video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this. See you next time.